When I retired from teaching, I had absolutely every intention of remaining a youth theatre director at Oasis for wherever. We were living literally footsteps away from, so I could bike to the theatre to work with Oasis Youth Theatre. Everything was very easy. So I retired from teaching in the summer of 2016, I think, maybe 15. Yeah, 2015, and then we had the second year of doing I Love You Mum, and then at the end of that, I can remember holding the auditions for This Is For You and Can You Hear Me, Major Tom, and when I saw who turned up, or rather who didn't turn up, I knew the writing was on the wall and OYT wasn't going to continue. So you can see from the age of these guys, I mean, they're all above school age. We had one lad from the school who was involved, and I advertised it absolutely as normal. No one came. Other things had happened in the academy during the year that I'd left. So I left the drama department in an incredibly healthy state. Johnny Carrington was a stunning teacher, best results in the city kind of person. And during the year, I wasn't there. I can't say what happened, but what I can say is that he left that job in order to go to an equally status job in a different area, further away than the academy was for him. It obviously wasn't very welcoming, and that was so sad. And I thought, brilliant, they'll get a new drama teacher. I will have a great relationship with that drama teacher, and we'll move forward, and the youth theatre will be part of the drama department as it always had been. Oh, I offered to go and help with the interviews. That was rejected. Well, it wasn't even. I didn't even get a response. I don't know why they would be so kind of unwanting to have help, but just no response. And then the interviews, from what I heard about, were really badly organised. The head wasn't even there. The appointment was of someone. This is a department that has like 2 year 10 groups going into year 11. And you know, lots of kids doing drama, an incredibly successful part of the curriculum, and they appointed someone who had no experience. It was really unfair on her. It was a careless appointment by the senior management team. The only thing I can imagine, and this is me imagining, was that they were trying to save money. So they lost me, they saved that money, and that's fair enough. They then lost Johnny and saved that money, but then they replaced him with a teacher who had no experience in English schools, no experience of a drama department, but she had got a drama degree, and in fact 2 drama degrees, but no experience of teaching, didn't even know what the English examining system was. So I could see the whole thing was just going to be incredibly unsupportive from that time. And I was beginning just to feel awkward around the place during going in during that year when I was doing Can You Hear Me, Major Tom? And you were aware that things were falling to pieces in drama, literally. At the end of that year, for example, they had no one opting for drama. I think 2 people opted, and they said there's no call for drama here, therefore we won't run it as an option next year. So I was working as a youth theatre with no one to pull from, and it was just unworkable. So very sadly, I was thinking I'm going to have to leave, and I was in conversation with this young lady, Ali from the Romsey School, a neighbouring school, and she said, why is she just, I can remember the conversation, we were just on the phone, and she said, why don't you come and do the youth theatre here at Romsey School? And I said yes. I think she was really taken aback. I don't think she thought I would say that. And I said, yeah, I would love to continue doing youth theatre. I want to do that. Is it possible? She said, I'll talk to the head. Now, the head was Colm McCavanagh, who was the science teacher at Oaklands when we were Oaklands way back in the day. There's me as lying down as normal. And Ali put it to Colm, and he said, yeah, he'd love to have me there. And it literally happened like that. I went in to tell the head, who I then learned he was moving. So I guess the writing would have been on the wall for me anyway, and probably I wouldn't have been welcomed. And so I closed OYT, sadly, in 30 years after it had been opened. Running it, the consistency was amazing, and what this academy have done is just lost all that consistency, having teachers coming in and going out. So sad for drama. I think there have been 5 or 6 appointments to the drama department in the 5 years that I've left. It's a tragedy, and it's managed to destroy what we had, but they can't destroy the legacy. It's all inexplicable. Some of the lovely older ones, here's George. George said he'd like to come and join Romsey Youth Theatre with me. You can't see her, but Eve, her friend Lucy, who were all in the other production, and Alicia wanted to come, and she was saying she was going to go to drama school, and she said, I'd like to come and be an assistant director. So I had her as a kind of Carly figure. Carly had been very much the assistant director at OYT, and so she filled that role. And it was lovely for me to go to Romsey and run a youth theatre. That's the drama studio. They had a lovely drama studio, very much like the one I had at St John's. And so I started to run RSCoYT. Romsey School Community Youth Theatre. So we got the OYT in there, and also looks like Royal Shakespeare Company Oasis Youth Theatre. So it was a bit of a cheeky name. And I felt this could be perfect. So with all my experience, I can make the perfect youth theatre. It was just a kind of fun challenge for me. In this new youth theatre, I was presented with a group of year 8s. I had been used to working with people of a big age range going up to 24, so it was quite a shock for me to have a group of year 8s. Very able, very lovely, very able, very keen. I can remember in the first term, no one was absent ever. It was literally, it was just wonderful. We did workshops, and I felt that what we could do was to have workshops that for the whole of that time, and then we'd decide, we'd have a meeting, much like I did at Epping. We'd have a meeting and decide what we want to do a play about, and then we'd do our own stuff. That was the plan. And everything was going perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And it was, because there was one difference I do remember is that I would say the age difference between me, I was 60, I guess then, and these guys who were 13. There was nothing that could be the same as when the age difference was, I was 21 and they were 16. So there was a distance there of age. And I'd say probably I never managed to overcome that. But where there was that, there was also my experience. So I was able to bring experience in. And so, there were swings and roundabouts. There were things that were good about me doing it, and there were things that were bad, and that was age. I couldn't do anything about that. But it was just, I can remember that first term being a perfect term where everybody was working beautifully. And then, because the school were actually doing a production of Hard to Swallow, which they were putting on DVD, and I had the bright idea that we would contribute the Billy Goat scenes and do it as a production at the end of that term. So suddenly gave ourselves a very pressured job, and I shall talk about that in the next episode.